Good evening, all your gurus, and welcome back to another edition of Innate to Innate. And I am super stoked for our guest this evening. This is Mr. Satyen Raja, and he is a teacher, a facilitator, a wise man. And he's going to touch on topics such as inner alchemy tonight and how to really tap into our own inner guru. And he's somebody that I've had the privilege of working directly myself, and the experiences were profound and truly transformational. And I'm really excited to have him on the program, and I'm sure all of you are going to get a ton of value out of tonight's talk. So hang in there, and without any further ado, welcome, Satyen.
Thanks for having me, and everyone who's tuning in here. Thanks for being here live, and looking forward to see what inner alchemy and magic emerges amongst us all present here today.
Absolutely. This is great. Both Satyen and I love to let things emerge. So we have not too much prepared for tonight. We don't go in with scripted conversations. We're going to really tap into what wants to show up for both of us and also all of you as well. So this is a reminder for all you out there. We are part of this field, this co-creative field. So we want to hear from you. And if you want to start off by just typing in your name and where you're tuning in from, that'd be excellent. We'd love to hear that. And so, Satyen, I know a little bit about you and your background. I've been following you now for well over a decade. That's pretty amazing. I know that not everybody who is tuning in this evening has that privilege, though. So I'd love to hear from you just a bit of your backstory and how you got involved in everything that you're up to today. I know that's a big question, but give us just the Cole's notes, if you will.
How about I start with what I'm doing now, and then I'll work backwards.
Sure, go for it.
From present time. So really, I have two aspects of the work I do in the world. One aspect is I have a training academy called Accelerated Evolution Academy, and I'm training helping professionals in actually inner alchemical, psycho-spiritual tools, consciousness shifting methods, which I have brought together from all my mentors' work and put it in a way that anyone who's a professional in the helping world can really up-level their own transformation, their own professional acceleration, just go to a whole other level of reach. So that's one area that has been a passion of mine, because serving other people and being immersed in these type of mind, body, spirit methodologies has always been a lifelong passion. So that's one side of my work. And the other side of my work in the world is I serve leaders of companies, leaders who are in the transformational world, just anyone who's making a difference in the world and are really serious about it and are doing a good job. I help them come to a state of equilibrium, come to a state of flow, and really magnify their gifts so that they're really, coming from a soul level of reach. So I help them go 10 times, 100 times their company, but at the same time, I help them find this inner transformation, enlightenment, if for lack of a better word, although that can mean many things. So that's my main focus, because I really feel that the leaders of the world, us as leaders, we must be at our highest game now for what the world calls upon. I feel that it's a noble gesture for us to be at our highest capacity, because the world is really out of kilter. A lot of people, society is really out of kilter, and people like us who have this type of mindset, who've worked on ourselves. There's always work to do on ourselves, right? But who have dedicated ourselves to some form of improvement in the lives of others. I think this is a time where we can come together and be at our peak existence, so that we are at our peak reach. So to me, all of that started with, when I was a youngster, I became very much involved in martial arts and the spiritual path of martial arts, the path of the warrior and the sage, learning to cultivate oneself as a warrior, meaning to walk the path of truth and to, do your best to be a contributing member of society and to be of service and to be impeccable, and that's a journey, there's no end to that. I think it's an everyday walk that we have to face and wake up and aim to choose. So I'm on that path. I haven't arrived anywhere. I'm on that path equally as I am on the first day as I think I will be on the day I die, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So that's the warrior. And then the sage part of my work has always been, what is the way to inner awakening? Not just outside freedom. I believe freedom has two aspects. The outer world, being able to do what you want, to know what your soul wants and being able to craft that and create that in your reality. And also the inner awakening, where you're also in deep state of contentment. You're in a deep state of fulfillment already now. So it's from this depth of sage, the awakened guru, the inner guru, as you share about, combined with the power of the warrior, the action, the karma yogi, the one that takes action in the world. Those two are, I feel, are the powers that we can most cultivate in this day and age as helpers in the world, and bring to the next edge. Scare ourselves, in fact.
I love what I'm hearing. This nice balance of both the practicality of the doingness in the world and how we show up, how we contribute to others, how we help to shape the world around us, and also the inner work. And I find that with many teachers nowadays, they emphasize one or the other. We can get so insistent on do, and yet be running in circles without tapping into what's really of priority in doing our inner work. And then there's other disciplines who are so inner focused that we're in this perpetual contemplative state, and we in some ways we almost become self-focused, and we miss the opportunity to contribute to our external world. And what I love is that you really touch on both, and the importance of the yin and the yang, the working the back and the forth.
But as my friend just recently shared with me, Daniel Schmachtenberger, who's a brilliant scientist and philosopher, and just a man of service to the world. He said to me something that, in words that really resonated with me, and he talked about being, and like we were sharing, there's many schools of being, many teachings, and it's valuable because many of us are always so much in the doing that we don't ever get a chance to rest, be relaxed in the Tao of reality, to be in spacious contentment, as the Buddha would say, desireless contentment. But the challenge is, if being is only part of our nature. And so the schools that emphasize only being are only looking at one part of our nature that we can cultivate and bring into equilibrium. There's also another part of our aspect-full nature, which is the becoming aspect. The okayness, the infinity of who I am, this divine infinite being, is absolute and already perfect and existent and cannot evolve anymore, because it is the root of evolution. It's the absolute divine. Yet that also has a becoming nature, and that's what we see in nature. Nature is always becoming. It's an ever evolution, and the scientific world viewpoint of things continuously evolving as they respond to the environment and correlate, and information and energy gets exchanged, so that the organizational development level and consciousness can continue to evolve, and forms can continue to become, higher forms of evolutionary co-creation. This becoming is also something worthy to work on, which is our personal growth, our evolution of our psychology, evolution of our body, making our bodies strong, making them healthy. We could be in emptiness of bliss, of non-attachment, and let the body fall away. But it's only 1/3 of the truth. There's being, becoming, which is the joy of evolution, the embrace that we are evolving, and we might as well do it, or we're going to be devolving. Which, if we take a look at some of the countries are becoming farcical. We see things becoming farcical in politics. We can't believe what's happening. Those of us who have some inkling of awakening. And then there's the last segment of this, which is doing. You got to get shit done. You got to get organized, get simple, get direct, take the path of least resistance, the least amount of moves to activate and bring forth your gift in the highest way with the least amount of complication. And do it, because without that doing, there won't be fulfillment. You'll always feel a little narcissistic, a little selfish. You'll always feel a little not plugged into the ultimate place or position in reality, feeling out of sorts with your belongingness. And that shows up as symptoms of not the willingness not to have things, a guilt to have things. Spiritual awakening, emotional fulfillment in relationship, financial fulfillment, family fulfillment, business fulfillment. Willingness to have, that's the beginning, that's the sage. And the ability to act on what we're willing to have is the warrior.
Very practical. It's real and it's holistic. I love it. Are you sure you didn't go to chiropractic college? I mean, you are dropping chiropractic universal truths here, which is a lot of my community, and they are going to be resonating with this message fully. But I think
I don't know if you know about my early life, that I actually started out at 17. I went into shiatsu college.
There you go. Yeah, so we're speaking universal truths right now. Yeah, and they're applicable to the philosopher, to the warrior, to the chiropractor, and to the shiatsu therapist. It's great. All right, so we're speaking the warrior, we're speaking the sage, and wisdom, lots of wisdom. This is great. So people tuning in, we want to hear from you. I see a lot of people live here tonight. That's great. You have quite a following. Absolutely. And so drop in your name, where you're coming from, and we'd love to hear some questions as well. We want to make tonight.
I'm already resonating. What did you say? I'm already resonating with this. Wonderful.
Yeah. People are tuning in, and you can feel that. You know, one of my teachers talks about how we all have a liquid oscillator of truth. And it's located in the heart chakra. And there's a resonance to truth. We feel it. When people speak it, this resonates inside us. It's like, yeah, I can identify it. I might not even understand it all, but I feel the truth that this man is speaking.
If any of you have any topics you'd like to bring up, I'm happy to field them. If it comes up to you, you can share them with me. Since many of you are chiropractors, I believe, correct? Many of your community are chiropractors. You know, I value that actually, because I've been going to chiropractors. I've been involved in martial arts, and I've been seeing chiropractors ever since, must be 30 years now. I really value, the whole field and what it's done for me, and how it's kept me aligned when I've been busted up, and it keeps me in the flow. I don't just go for when I have remedial needs. I go to be in alignment. And my sister-in-law is a chiropractor as well, Helen Lee. And so I'm very blessed to have that. And the parallels, well, it's not even parallel. It's the same truth emerging as a different branch from the same tree of infinite wisdom, which is, equilibrium is the source of our own happiness. That's the essence of where I'm at today that I want to get across. When I was a younger man, I didn't value equilibrium. I valued craziness and wildness a little bit more, like I'm sure many of us and need to have those edgy experiences in life. But for me, how we can really grow ourselves, I've been guiding, helping professionals now for years, because I was very blessed to have built a powerful practice in shiatsu, and then I went on to teach early on in my 20s. I went to create trainings for healthcare professionals, chiropractors actually, anyone in the holistic realms. I was doing 30 years ago. And back then there was no internet,
right?
No use of no cell phones. When you pick up the phone, you don't even know who's on the other end. right? And so, I had to speak with these folks and said, what made my place booked up 8 months in advance? Mm-hmm. And what made that happen? And I attribute it to certain things, if I may share. The first thing was beingness. Mm-hmm. I went out of my way to make it so that each and every experience that I could offer, that I would be under my client energetically. Mm-hmm. Not meeting him, not from here a place of doctoral or kung fu-y mastery or whatever I was into, but from a place energetically displacing myself to this being, divine being who's come to my doors for service. I didn't say anything about it. I just did it in my heart. Mm. And then what I would do, I would make sure my place was energetically clean. I would keep it impeccable. I learned from my mother that the goddess Lakshmi, the goddess of prosperity, enters your place when it's physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually clean. Mm. You're not harboring guilts. You've released your guilts. You've faced your guilts. You faced the shadows. So you're willing to look at that and be honest and real about where you're at and embrace the truth. And because that's the only place where transformation can really happen, not from just above the truth or just to the side of the truth or espousing truth. It has to be from truth. Mm. Mm-hmm. Right inside of it. And I dedicated myself. I realized if I do that, then what started happening was my referrals started going up. Because that energetic disposition of being underneath them and giving everything I have, every session, then I did the smart thing. I learned to create some type of group, different levels of programs. I had an acute resolution program. Something that, I can't remember, this is years back, but it was like 5 sessions. Back to back, like very concentrated. So if they had some injury or something really needed attending to, they could get that. I didn't try to sell every session at a time. I started going nuts doing that. Mm-hmm. So I had an acute resolution, and then I had a 3-month, it was like a revitalize, get back on track. And then I had a whole year, you're in the groove. And I booked it all out. So I would make available what's for them as a menu. And I would recommend what I felt would be best for them. If they had gone through one next, and I go, you want to stay this? And then what I did was every single month, I created a new seminar that they could bring their friends to in the evening, themselves and their friends. So it became a cultural place to hang out and for them to bring and to hear a lecture or to have a nice talk on some aspect that I was passionate about. Or that if I felt not confident enough, I would bring in a speaker or someone of interest with something that the folks would be happy to bring their friends to hear a cool talk or have a cool experience. I'm sharing this because the creation of a place where people can gather, mm-hmm. to have sacrament with truth, with each mm-hmm. other, to connect, to have contact, is what I found is the essence of what creates sustaining and ever-widening fields of healing. Mm. So when we as guides and healers can help support that, create, even in simple ways, once a month, once every 3 months, a place where the whole group can come, a party, a celebration, an acknowledgement night, a place where connection and dyads and entertainment and hearing about each other. It sounds so simple, and yes, but the discipline of putting that into the architecture of one's offering, it puts you it up levels your power of it'll just up level the whole power of the circuit of your field of life force. Your energy, the whole energy sphere is going to go up big time. So I was really felt to share that with everyone listening here today.
It's beautiful. Well, we can definitely relate to this. This is something our teachers have been speaking about and leading us towards. It's something I do in my office quite a bit. And, I look back in my history. I grew up, I'm a farm boy from northern Saskatchewan. And it was not uncommon for our community, if one of the neighbors was not finished combining, my father would pull his combine into the field and support him. I grew up with fall dinners and Christmas parties. And I mean, community was just such a mainstay for us. And it was, the transition between northern Saskatchewan farm boy moving out onto the island, not knowing many people here, and at the same time that the internet became so fashionable and many of our social structures really became secondary for most people. We've seen a huge decreasing of the human-to-human contact. And I just feel it's so important today for us to get in the physical connection with another. I feel there's so much that happens energetically between each other. I'm wondering, Satyen, do you feel that the same is possible through what we're doing, the means that we're doing today? Do you feel that that's possible, or is this a close second? Or
it's a really good question. Good share. In the work I do, this element that we're talking about, we call contact. And the philosophy is that you are a divine being with choice. I am a divine being with choice. We are divine beings with choice. Always. Our ultimate intention, the reason we're here in this existential existence, is to enjoy relationship. When we're in our infinite state, we're in non-relationship. We're in the void. We're in absoluteness. Non-dual interaction. There's no interaction. You can't interact in the non-dual. You're undifferentiated, infinite existence. So we take, just like we shrink ourselves down to be a chess player and to play, say this piece can move this way, and we fragment our consciousness so that this is a piece, this one can move like an L shape, this can move diagonally. We limit the amount of movements we can make so that we can have a game of relationship. We take on restriction as a way to play the game of life. Mm-hmm. Or else, if your rook could move anyway, and there would be no game if it was all random. Mm-hmm. There'd be chaos. So in that same token, what's the purpose? Well, in my work, we've realized that whether you're doing acupuncture, whether you're doing shiatsu, whether you are doing a sacred smudging ceremony, whether you're doing some light and sound therapy, the therapies, the forms of therapies, and this is where I might get controversial. I don't mean to push buttons, but this is from my research, my own personal research in about 30 modalities for about 35 years now, is that the number one factor was not the modality, but the contact. Mm. The quality of contact between the practitioner and the individual. Mm-hmm. How much contact was there? Beingness to beingness. The quality of that relationship was the master healer of which all the other methodologies were riding on. Mm-hmm.
So now as we're speaking tonight, I have goosebumps. I have goosebumps as through the connection that you and I have. And so I'm going to go back to the question that I'm feeling a lot of contact here with you. Is it possible to create the same transformational experience through the internet as it is if I was sitting knee to knee with you and doing a diet? Is it possible?
So I didn't believe that was the case a while back.
Yeah.
I just thought face-to-face is always the best. I'm a people person. I love people interaction. Okay? But most of my clients are international around the world. So I had to learn how to create contact and remove the barriers in my mind, to even this type of technology. I'm a very organic type of fellow. So I had to get into the technical world just even to come on to here. And you said, make sure I open up Chrome. I'm like, oh God. So I figured it out last moment. But here's where I'm at with it today. Contact is contact. So let's all do this. We can just, everyone here. So the simple practice is put your attention on me as a conscious individual with choice. And Norm, put your attention on us as conscious individuals with choice. Okay, stop. Tell me what happened. Say it into the space or type it in, Norm, and you say what happened. And just what happened.
I felt a dissolving of boundary. I felt a deepening of my connection, my contact with you. I felt my being really open up as you invited that.
Okay, beautiful. Thank you. I felt the same. I felt connected, like just more with you beyond this like screen. And I also felt everyone, even though I can't see the faces, I don't even know their names. I feel your souls like in my presence. Okay, let's do this again, everyone. Okay? So first of all, let's have fun. Let's give each other an honoring in your own way, from your own inner guru to each other, okay? Okay. Let's begin, and we'll do this for about a minute and really cultivate strengthening our contact field. So let's include everyone. So myself, Norm, let's include everyone who's listening now, present, later, at a recording. All you're in present time now, okay? We meet through time and space. Put your attention on each other as conscious individuals with choice. Do your best to feel us and all of us together as conscious individuals with choice. And any of you at any time, you can type in what you're experiencing. That'd be fun to hear some of the comments. Those of you who are good at fast at typing. What are you more conscious of now than before? Okay, I'll share what came up for me. I feel that we're getting even more, the parts of us that's beyond body is starting to connect more. Mm-hmm. How about yourself?
I felt this energy field around me, and it was non-local, and it was tingling. My body really started to tingle. And when you brought in the concept of connecting with people, past, present, future, who's going to view this video, that just exponentially grew for me. It was profound. Wonderful.
I feel like I'm not alone in this room. Awesome.
Yeah, isn't that cool? Yeah, for sure. Heather Lynn mentioned soft expansion. Yeah.
Okay, let's do this again. Let's put our attention on each other as conscious individuals, divine individuals with choice. Keep feeling that. Put your attention on each other as conscious individuals with choice. This divine being has choice. I have choice. Feel that. And now I'm going to make it directed. Put your attention on Norm as a conscious being with choice. Right? You can feel it, right?
Wow.
Okay? Put your attention on me as a conscious individual with choice. Let's put our attention on each other as non-physical, conscious beings with choice. that include the physical.
Mm.
Let's give each other an honor. And let's stay in contact.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not a light thing. So this is a practice I used to do and still do before I'm meeting with my clients online, and it's really ramped up the contact.
Mm.
And I'm getting now that I need to embrace technology. If I can still see people, great, beautiful, person to person. But now that in fact I get to enjoy traveling and moving around, and I can meet people in other parts of the world. So
that's lovely. In this moment, you could be in the same room as me. And I might suggest too, the contact I feel with you is deeper than many experiences I have with people in the same room too. You know, we can be in the same room and yet very distant. And yet tonight, the stillness is so present in the air and the airwaves tonight. It's beautiful. It's a wonderful interview. Thank you so much. Colleen types in, she says, heart expanded. Karen says, I feel that I'm not alone in this room. Wasn't that cool, hey? I mean, and we know this through quantum physics, right? In that we can tap into each other non-locally. And I think we're getting a firsthand experience of this tonight. Thank you so much. We have a question down here. It's from somebody you know well. I'm just going to bring it up. And it's Sunny Davey. And he says, what is the function of the inner guru? Do we all have one? What is the easiest way to wake this up in others? Let's break that down. There's a few questions there. So what is the function of the inner guru?
For me, it's a beautiful vision in metaphor for one's innate navigation system. Mm-hmm. And how I experience it, how I feel it, and how I encourage others to aim to try to see if you can feel this relationship of your soul and mind in unity. Mm. Some systems really focus on, the intellect and the development of intellect and rationality, and there's so much value in that. It's brought us out of the dark ages and it's helped us create heights of achievements. And then some schools of thought and philosophy have been very heart or soul, feeling dimension, truth-oriented, where they're saying that that deepest soul is where the real truth lies, and we must take that path. For me, in this path of the warrior sage, it's about soul and mind unity, because both are functions. It's like I don't want to ignore the unity of my lung or my liver or my spine. It's all, I want to include this all. And so my mind is not something to be shunned. Mm-hmm. It's to be in unity. So sometimes my mind says it's a great idea. We've heard about, well, you need to listen to the inner voice, the inner truth, the comfort. That's how I sense it, as a comfort, an alignment, a sense of deep comfort between the comfort in my soul that feels right, as well as my mind says that's a good idea. And the path to it is simple. If it's complicated, then the mind may go, yeah, it's still a good idea, but the soul may go, I don't go forward then. So, but if the soul is also very happy, and that feels good, but the mind is going, there's a lot of potential. I also don't go forward. To me, I listen for the wisdom of both those wisdom centers. Both have a innate intelligence. And so I'll wait until they come into harmony, then I'll make my best move. And to me, that's when the inner guru, that's the function of the inner guru, to help navigate existence. The wisest way to wake it up is what I've said, is to become more sensitive to the comfort of your innermost. to do that, we have to, there's so many ways to calm the mind, and so many people are already well versed in meditation, whatever it takes, walking in nature and getting in touch with your feminine side, getting in touch with Gaia, Mother Earth, breath, whatever way that you fancy, that brings you into this place where you can start to listen to the messages, the comfort of your beingness, your body wisdom, as well as listen to the clarity that can come from an organized mind. Mm-hmm. There'll be a sweet spot where they come together. You'll know it. And when that is, then we are in our highest optimum creation capacity. When they're not in harmony, then we create balancing forces unbeknownst to us that cause bullshit later on.
I laugh because I can relate. I've had those experiences where, I'm looking for an answer, I'm pushing, and it's like, it's not coming. And then, oh, well, this might do. And I push through it. And 2 weeks later, it's like, oh, shoot. I end up doing one of these spirals and then ending up at that dead end zone and realizing, yeah, I'm off the course. And then I've had other moments where, as you say, the two come online. And for me, it's like this atonement where and I can feel it energetically. And I felt it halfway through your conversation tonight where my being just started to line up. And it's like an energetic experience for me. And it's beautiful. It's a homecoming. And it gets so darn easy at that point. It's simple. It's just, yeah. Now, there is a couple other parts to this question here. Sunny writes, do we all have one? Which I think is a yes, as far as an inner guru.
Yes. I mean, you would think that some people don't. And, I was altruistic in my early life. And I think nowadays that maybe there are a few people who don't have an inner guru. Yeah. But yeah, I say that in jest because Sunny, I know, is an amazing man who appreciates jest. But also because what I'm realizing now is, what if there are actual people whose inner voice is so out of alignment, mm-hmm. that they mean harm as their way to get forward in life. Mm-hmm. Now, I don't like to focus on such things because it's easy to go and dive into that world and create vehemency against that energy and that type of thinking. I've been down those roads. And what I've realized is the more I'm against anything, anyone, any type of system, the more I'm doing that, I'm creating a balancing force from my vehemency against, which then entraps me and sucks my actual life force energy into that system, which is almost vampiric in its desire to have you for it or against it. And that duality we can see through the eras. This for and against. All great themes, all great war movies, all great things are based on the elicitation of these dynamic antagonistic polarities. We wouldn't have hero movies without them. But in real life, we have them inside our being. We have these antagonistic dualities in our consciousness. And some of them are really personal, such as I deserve versus I don't deserve. Healing is spiritual, making money is bad. Mm-hmm. So if you've got making money is bad and healing is, making money is not spiritual, and you have a family to take care of and you have aims and you wish to experience new adventures on the planet and see what other parts of the world are like and educate children and whatever you wish to do and create in life, you will be limited because of the unconscious imprint and this antagonistic duality. So the way to wake up is to look at where are these antagonistic dualities within my system that are causing inner conflict, writing them down, catching them, and coming to wholeness in them.
Yeah, I've found in my life, whenever I judge someone or a behavior, almost invariably, the next day I catch myself doing the same darn thing, maybe in a slightly different manner. But it's like whenever I judge it, I start making it real, and that energy gets stuck in my being. And then I end up spinning it out the next weekend. I'm like, oh my goodness, look at me here. You know, isn't it a phenomenal thing? I see that most often with my spouse. You know? Whenever I judge something in her, and then the next day I'm like, oh my goodness, here I am, right? And yeah, okay, there was a third part to this question. What is the
advice I'm giving you doesn't work with spouses, just so everyone is clear. Okay?
Right. Yeah, absolutely. All right. And the last question, Sunny writes, is what is the easiest way or the wisest way to wake up in others, to wake up the guru in others?
Well, you know, what we were just practicing earlier, bringing our unique flavor of contact and magnifying our contact. If you're an artist, put your attention on your audience as conscious beings with choice. I have the opportunity, I'm honored to come and speak on stages and speak in front of groups and companies. And when I go on there, before I go on, and even as I'm going on, when I find I put my attention on myself, which is natural at times, am I good enough? Am I nervous? And all, you know, all the things that get triggered, right? What I do to reverse that is I feel outward rather than inward. I bring the coil of attention inward, outward. I relax the surface of my body. And let's all do this together. Put your attention on everyone here as conscious beings with choice. And even if you can't see them visually, imagine they're in front of you as like invisible beings, and just feel them and look at them in your space. Wherever you are in the world, wherever you're sitting, whatever time you're in, let's all meet transcendent to time and space. Meet where we're in contact prior to time and space and causality. Let's keep putting our attention on each other as conscious beings with choice. And notice what thoughts arise and let them just come and notice them. Notice what emotions arise, feelings, any images that come up in the mind, any body sensations, body experiences. Now put your attention on yourself as a conscious divine being with choice. And now open your eyes and put your attention on each other as conscious beings with choice, even greater than you've ever done. Open to each other. Keep opening to each other. This quality of contact and presence is our sacred invisible gift, which in fact is thicker than anything else that could ever be. That's how we can amplify, I feel, any form of service that we do. And the secret really behind this awakening the inner guru in others, we all drop into this place of beyond the mind. yet it includes the mind. And the mind is in perfect harmony. And so that's the path of this. When we start feeling that, we're going to forget. Don't beat yourself up forgetting. That's part of the game. Part of the game. Got to wake up in the morning, brush your teeth again. No big deal. There's no one-time brush your teeth and then, you know, that one-time shower. You're going to get dirty again. You're going to sweat again. That's part of life. So in the same way, we can continue. The idea of that this state will be one day ever present. Maybe some person out of a billion may snap into something like that out of lifetimes of some type of sadhana. In this lifetime, they fall into it and they're permanently in this divine contact state. So God bless them. Most of us are dealing with this as a cultivation. So embrace that it's a cultivation and stop looking for it to be a panacea. And know when, just like for there to be beautiful pictures with a camera, there has to be, the lens has to be able to close as well as open. It has to adjust to the amount of light coming in. Too much light, the aperture has to be smaller. Not enough light, the aperture has to be wider. So when there's less light in the space, we have to allow our aperture to open up everyone else. Let their light in. When there's already a lot of lights in the room, you're around divine beings, you're around a sage, a saint, a wisdom keeper, and they're radiating truth and light, then you just have to be and let that light radiate you. But don't close yours. You're in the great field. You're part of the great mission. You're part of the great unfolding. Like you, every one of us have the exact cosmic address, the exact divine cosmic address we are already in. We're very close. Anyone listening to this, you're already in the pocket of it or just humming around it and just need to go plop. And that plop is this contact and the willingness to have and act on the wisdom, the soul's wisdom that we already know.
Beautiful. For those of you who might be tuning in and maybe new to the conversation, this is very practical, and I wanted to just share with you how real it is in my own life. As a chiropractor, I have the opportunity of seeing numerous people throughout the week, and I am constantly amazed at how different when my attention, where my focus is, and how people show up in my office. I could be in a lower state energy and I can start focusing on the problem, the pain, the issue, the subluxation, the tight muscle, the sore this. And if I get on that track, I can have 90, close to 100% of the people show up in a morning who are, oh, I needed to tell you my neck hurts, I'm sick, I got fired from work, I've cold, my allergies, and I mean, that's the whole conversation that morning. And then flip the page to the afternoon and I've reset, I've gone for a run or I've meditated, I've come back to my own alignment, and I see people as conscious beings, as being whole and complete, and I celebrate that in them. And I might not even change a word I'm saying, I'm not talking to them any differently, but it's just how I'm perceiving them. And I can have 90, 95, close to 100% of the people show up and say, thank you so much. That last adjustment was amazing. Oh my God, I just met a new lover. I'm so excited about this and my performance is improving so much. And like night and day. And it's all sourced in my reference point and how I'm seeing the world. And I take a step back, Satyen, and I think how darn powerful we are as beings and how much we can impact people on a non-local level. Because I question myself and all the people I come in contact with, but how important my perspective is of the community that I care for and the ripple effects of me sitting and meditating And what might seem like, well, it's just 20 minutes, it's like, oh, whatever. But there are ripple effects of our behaviors and how that impacts all those connected to us.
When there's a lot of noise around in nature, but something is still, stiller than what's around, that's what gets noticed by the ones who are seeking depth. Though most people are trying to become more eye-catching and attention-catching than all the attention-catching out there.
Yeah.
So they're trying to oscillate to be even more. Whereas what if you went the other way? Instead of going lighter, more superficial, what if we went deeper? And established who we are? Because I got to tell you, brother, you, all the noble people on here, the ones who are helping people, we're on the front lines with the suffering of people. On the front lines. We're hearing and listening and seeing its manifestation of the imbalance of life in the body, in one's life and their history and how it shows up and as suffering. That's like front lines. We're absorbing it, listening to it, being around it all day. We as healers must embrace the warrior and the sage within us at this time. The warrior is that says, I must put not in a selfish way, in an altruistic way, I must put myself first. I need to foster my equilibrium. And the warrior has to take care of that. No one else is going to take care of that. And then we all know by example, by demonstration, in my coaching work, when I'm training trainers and leaders and guides, one of the philosophies, one of the principles is we must, it's a simple exercise. I ask my trainees, I say, make a list of your ideal client. And I say, write about the finances, write about their attitude, their timeliness, right? So inevitably people say things like they pay handsomely for what I'm worth, and they pay me up front with total confidence. I say dream big, and they'll say things like they show up always on time, they're happy, and they take on the exercises, the disciplines, the health regimes that I give them. They refer me lots of people, and they happily share the value of what I do to other people and send me clients. So these type of things, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The ideal client. Then the next bit of the exercise is how close are we to that?
Yes.
Are we doing that?
Yes. So
with my coach, I pay him up front, boom, like this. I have with my coach, I pay up front, I pay on time. I make sure my dealings is clear. When I get assignments, I do my best to complete them and fulfill them. And I take the advice and the wisdom with earnestness and I apply it. And when I do that, my clients just start rolling in. And the less I do that, the more my mind goes, I need to do marketing. I need to do this.
Right.
It's superficial. And what I'm getting at is to become a 7-figure, to become the 1%. Of the 1%, the depth piece, the sage, has to be cultivated. And we all have that. And the sage is the depth of our released wisdom. Us living from a place of cohesive equilibrium. Being the ideal client. And when we become the ideal client, we then enter a universe. We enter a resonance where the ideal client goes, look at the congruency. It's not even written. Some people have one name and a phone number on a website with a shitty picture. But the reputation that comes to them, you got to go to this person. That's what we can build. We can be an ever creation of we don't have to be there now. We may not be there now. We may be there in a box and we may say, how am I going to get to there? Start with what I shared is go underneath. Forget your structure of your business and all of that. Feel, how can I be underneath tomorrow, starting tomorrow? my next client? How can I feel them as a being with choice, a divine being with choice? Let me start with that, and I guarantee you there'll be a stimulating of the prana, the life force, the chi that starts to happen. Because chi is activated underneath the carrier wave of increased contact. More contact, greater chi flow.
Love it. This is real, folks. It's real. I'm feeling it. I'm sweating over here. Awesome. All right. I do want to touch on alchemy. Alchemy. So this is, my sense, this is definitely a sage principle, is alchemy. And maybe we can just give us a bit of a background story of alchemy, and how does that relate to us human beings?
Well, alchemy comes from the term Kemt, or Kemt. And Kemt is the ancient land of Egypt, the black land, the land of the black soil, the wisdom of the infinite darkness, the void, the Tao, the cosmic mother is Kemt. Alchemical is the art of working with the forces of infinity, the forces of nature, from a psycho-spiritual disposition, which has its flush down into material. But ultimately, alchemical is realizing there is no distinction between the inner world and the outer world. That's the secret of the ultimate alchemical awakening, is when you can dissolve the distinction between the feeling of there's an inner biology, chemistry, subjective reality versus an external validatable, correlatable external reality. Right now, our consciousness can go back and forth and blend at times. But the essence of alchemy is understanding that the void is the self, is matter, is existence. Existence is the void, is the self, is intention. And then when you start recognizing that, learning to cultivate your mind and body and your soul and mind unity, and generating what is the matter that you wish to, what matters to you is the matter that you arise in. So there's many different forms of alchemy in the world, many different schools and methods and so forth. My particular bent is I practice a set of alchemical consciousness methods that I've deemed and I've put together, called it accelerated evolution methods. And some of them are meant, and I believe there's different categories of alchemical work. So one of them is I consider the circle, and the symbol is the circle. And alchemy has many symbols. So the symbol I use of the circle is, and we hear about this, what is your biggest mission, your depth, your why? And alchemy is, we need to have that at our core. We need to know, because that intention is what creates the rest of the infusion, fires up everything. Your biggest why, your noble intent. What is your heart's yearning? So we can even do a process if we want. We can erase the external and internal division. We can do it in a few minutes if we want to do it right now.
Yes, please.
Okay, you all ready for it? It'll take us about 5 minutes. And what I'll do is, this will separate the division between inner world and outer world. It'll help remove the barriers. So I'm going to ask everyone to feel the inner world for a few seconds, and then just say something about it, or you can write about it. And then I'll say, let that go, and feel the outer world. Look around you, be aware of this outer world, let that go. Then we'll do the inner world, outer world, inner world. We're going to do it a few times back and forth in a row.
Okay.
And then I'm going to say, let's do them both together. Feel the inner and outer world together. Take a deep breath in and out, and share what's happening. And you can do this, we'll do this. And we're going to do the whole sequence a couple of times. And when we do this, what will happen is, everything will start to dissolve. You'll have it harder to find the difference between the inner and outer world, and that's exactly what we want. So if you're finding the distinctions blurring, good, let it be. Because then at the end of it, you're going to be at the core of your inner guru.
Awesome. All right, fasten your seatbelts, folks. Here we go. And please play along. Throw in your comments on the side. I'm going to be making my comments, and we also want to hear from you guys too. So this is a participatory evening. I'm loving it. Awesome.
Let's dive into the alchemy of transforming the veil of the external world and the internal world.
Okay.
Let's have it so that our collective intention is that we recognize that what we're generating in our inner dimension, we know this on a mental level. Some of us have real even recognition of this in life. Let's up-level it for all of us. And this will definitely do that, okay? All right, let's feel the inner world fully. And feel it, and really feel it. Any images, thoughts, feelings, body sensations. Magnify it, and when something comes up, Norm, please kindly just share, and I'll do the same. And everyone can do it into the space around you, as well as you can type it in if you wish.
Okay. I'm feeling the heaviness in my feet.
I'm seeing that I'm inside my head somewhere. I'm originating inside my head. Okay, feel the outer world fully. Look around, see it, be present to it. You can touch anything. However you experience the outer world, feel it fully, and then say something about it.
I'm seeing some clutter.
I see like a solid room of physical stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Feel the inner being, the inner world of being. And then say something about it.
Mm-hmm. I'm feeling my left and my right in a dance back and forth, this energy moving between the two.
I'm feeling like I'm an isness. Like I just am. I am an amness. Somewhere, but nowhere. Okay, let that go. And now feel the outer world. Look around, see it, feel it, experience it, and then say something about that, the outer world. See the environment, trees, rain at the window, nature.
I'm seeing a lot of color and contrast.
Okay. Now, let's feel the inner world once again. The inner dimension of being, the subtle, esoteric, whatever you want to call it. The non-physical. It's non-located, edgeless self.
I'm feeling a oneness, an integration, a fullness.
Very good. Okay, my friends, let's now all feel this external world and internal world at the same time while we take a deep breath in and out, and then let's just share what's happening between these dualities, inner world and outer world at the same time. Merging. Okay, what comes up for you, Norm?
This is very trippy. I'm just experiencing a dissolving of the boundary between the two, the inner and the outer. And I'm recognizing how much I've referenced inner and outer in my life. Brilliant.
Okay. Excellent. We're going to do this again, round 2. It's going to go deeper. So let's do our best to everyone. You're going to do your best to isolate both sides. Even if they're starting to merge, whatever you do have that's separate, we want to magnify. We don't want to try to push them together. In fact, we want to feel our separation on both sides and magnify it. That's the secret. It's not in the pushing them together. So feel the outer world. Whatever thoughts, any images you have, any emotions, any body sensations, solidity, matter, heaviness, weight. That's what comes up for me.
I'm seeing papers and work, and I go into my mind with stuff to do.
Okay, good. Thank you. Let's let that go and now feel the inner dimension of our beingness, of our spirit. The truth of us. Say something about that.
I'm feeling flow in my spine and in my core, and definitely an expansion.
Okay, feel the outer world, experience the outer world fully and say something about it. Beautiful, infinite variety, non-stop, ever-changing. Always stuff and shit to do. Always something to fix and build and change and move. Stuff.
Yeah, lots to look at, lots of colors and contrast, shapes and sizes.
Feel the inner world, and then say something about that. Everyone who's at home, wherever you're at, follow along. Do this fully, with strong intent. Feel each side fully.
I'm drawn to the places I feel constriction. The base of my neck, I feel some tension.
I'm feeling my body as well. Body, that I'm the animator of the body somehow. I'm animating the body, my body. Okay, feel the outer world. I feel I'm animating my body through the outer world.
I feel myself merging with it, going out to it, and really feeling part with it, penetrating it.
Feel the inner world. It's like I can't even feel it just as an inner world. There's no, just a concept.
It feels universal. It feels expansive. And I don't know if I'm necessarily going in to feel it.
Okay, let's feel both at the same time. Inner world, outer world at the same time. However you do it, with your eyes open or closed, however you wish. And then take a deep breath in and out. And share what's happening between the two. There's no distinction. Just is. Share whatever you're more conscious of now than before.
I'm feeling a tremendous amount of energy, just kind of moving and rippling in and around me. And this kind of wafting of inner and outer. It just feels like this wave where I'm and between both.
Take the state of consciousness you're in and expand it infinitely in all directions. And put your attention on each other as conscious beings with choice. And feel how all of this is generated by our relationship. Well done. So that's alchemy.
So as we finished up with that exercise, I had quite a lot of emotion come up and even some tears. And it wasn't like sadness. It was just this energy moving through me. Can you bring some understanding to that?
Duality has impacted a repressed energy in it.
Mm-hmm.
When that duality has come into oneness, meaning the veil of separation between the seemingly veils of or opposites of inner world, outer world, all of these things. That's one set of pairs. When they come into harmony, the energy that was bound up in the duality comes to the being, comes back to you. Your power of choice is magnified, is regained. The fullness of your power of choice comes back to you bit by bit as you harmonize and integrate the dualities.
Wow, I am vibrating over here, my friend. That was one extraordinary adjustment. Thank you. Wow.
Yeah, it's a soul adjustment.
Soul adjustment. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'm just thinking how much in life, I get caught up in the comparison between me and another, where am I doing good enough? Am I far enough? And it's like, this just kind of dissolves all of that. And it's, whew, extraordinary.
When we can bring ourselves, our clients, our patients, whoever we're serving, into these wider states of consciousness, higher states of consciousness, and we can start re-imprinting our life based on things that are truly valuable to us. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And the things that are less valuable to us starts to fade away. We don't need to water a lawn that is no longer providing us food for our soul.
Karen writes in, she says, I have no physical pain. I don't put importance on worries on the things in my room. I am more interested in the tree outside my window than the papers on my desk. I feel calm, centered, and a feeling of letting go.
Good. Mm-hmm. Thank you, Karen.
Wow. This has been quite an evening. Thank you so much. All right. Well, as we near the end of our conversation, and this is just the beginning of the next one. For those of you who have enjoyed, and my voice has changed, I feel really, wow, this is awesome, buddy. For those of you who enjoyed tonight's conversation, please share this on your wall. Okay, this is transformation in action. This has been a really tangible, real experience, and you can share it with your friends and family by posting it on your wall and be that beacon of transformation this evening. And Satyen, as we start, my world is getting very blurry right now. This is awesome. Satyen, as we near the end of our conversation here this evening, is there any other pieces that you want to touch on and leave us with?
I think we're all pretty dialed in.
Yeah.
Pretty dialed in. Let's go do our thing.
Just love and appreciate you, brother. Thank you for the path you walk. And, you know, for marching the beat of your own drum, you've really modeled that well for many people. And in a world where there's been many imitators, you have been somebody who just shines your light in your authentic way. And you really encourage others to do that. And so just thank you for that.
An honor. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for everyone playing full on and joining in and awakening yourself.
Beautiful. All right. So if people want to go deeper with you, how do they get in contact and what are the opportunities?
We have a mentorship, what we call the Path of the Warrior Sage. And that can be found. There's an assessment, first of all, that one can take to get a sense of where they feel they are in terms of their existence and peak existence. And I go through the different areas that I have found in life, which when brought to equilibrium and focused on, we can really attain peak states of consciousness and flow states of abundance in our life and our gifts. So there's an assessment form. You can go and fill that out if you have an interest, and that's at warriorsage.com.
Beautiful website, by the way.
Thank you.
And it's one of the things I appreciate about you, Satyen, is the intentionality in which you do all things. Your website really speaks to that. It's an incredible journey just going and having a look at your website. It's lovely. It's a work of art and with tremendous wisdom held there. Well, we could just sit and meditate in this state for a half hour and just bliss out. It's always an option.
Yeah, we don't have to do more. You know?
Nope, I'm just right pickled right now, man. This is just awesome. Woo! That is great.
We've been putting our attention on each other as conscious beings of choice. We can end with let's keep doing that throughout the day. See if we can remember today. See if we can bring other people. Other people may want to enter that you feel, hey, check this out. And you're going to enter this sort of zone with us. And then we just continue to put our attention on each other, wherever we are in the world. Positive intention that we're going to put our attention on each other as conscious beings with choice and look around and value that person has that. That person has that. That store clerk has that. My wife, my husband, my children, my clients, my chiropractor, my anyone, they have that. They are a conscious, divine being with choice. We don't have to proselytize about it. We don't have to push that viewpoint down anyone's throat. We just have to aim to feel that in our contact, in our association. And the more we foster that light, all the latent potentials, all the magic that happens when contact is deep and nourishing and genuine, the carrier wave of that contact will allow all our gifts to really start to bloom and flower. I know that to be the case. So that's going to be my encouragement, invitation, and challenge to all of us to keep fostering that.
Beautiful, beautiful. And I will take you up on that. It's a wonderful opportunity with all the people that I see in my life and the tremendous impact that we have on each other and that I've been blessed with. And these tools that you're giving us tonight, excellent. All right, well, my friend, this has been an extraordinary experience. My voice is quaking. My world, my vision is very blurry right now. I don't know where I start. Is
there a difference between the inner and outer world?
No. Or me and you? Yeah. Extraordinary. Yep. Very cool. All right. Thank you so much. And everybody tuning in tonight, thank you for co-creating. Wow, I could really feel our field come together in all of us conscious beings, creating something magical tonight. And this video is going to live on. It's a legacy here that's going to impact many others. So I thank you all for tuning in tonight. Satyen, I thank you for sharing your wisdom, your skills, and your mastery of the alchemical process that we all have available to us. Okay, until next time, I'm Dr. Norm, and I'm reminding you all to attune to the wisdom within. All right, everyone, be well.